You're listening to the GunHunterPlanet podcast, your gateway into the great outdoors. So sit back, relax over a campfire, and enjoy the show. GunHunterPlanet, where guns and heritage come together.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the GunHunterPlanet podcast. Myself, James Noble, and Kevin Conlon.
How you doing?
Set up. What's happening?
I'm good.
Adventurous weekend too, I hear, huh?
Yeah, we were up north in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan with a black bear hunt. We did not connect, but it was a good time.
See, one of the guys in the group finally got one. He hunted quite a few days, I think.
Oh, did someone get one?
Yeah, Steve got one.
Yeah, they were hiking way out. The wind was really kind of the factor there this week. I think it was very windy, kept changing directions. I mean, I did spot it in the distance, but he didn't even think about coming into the bait. He just turned and walked the other way. And the baits were getting hit at night, mostly by sow and cubs. And it was just, Steve was on a different bait. They were far away, and he had seen a bear a couple of times, but the same thing.
Yeah,
it did not even give him a shot.
So a lot different than Canada,
huh? Completely different. These bear are much more skittish. They, in Canada, you were there. It was just like the bear aren't really afraid of you. They know you're there. They don't care. They're like, hey, I'm the boss.
I'm gonna come eat off this pile.
Yeah, I'm the boss anyway. So, but it was fun. It was, we had set up. Dave was hunting with the 350, and we had done some, traveling up there. We had it in case where we wanted to make sure it was sighted in, and it was right on the money. And we also had a 450 with us, and it's a good thing we checked it, because even though at home it was somewhat sighted in, it was kind of all over the place. So I'm
trying to think if we sighted that one in or not. We probably did it on a sled if we did.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if something got bumped or what was happening, but we couldn't get it in. We didn't have time to keep messing around, so we just went with the 350.
Or the ammo, because you can't find ammo for that damn thing.
Well, it's, every shot's about $1, so
at least.
I think we spent about $30.
Actually, it's about $2. It's about $40 a box now. So
then we
$2 around.
Then we probably spent about $40.
It started off about 27, 28, and it's
but it's fine. It's fun shooting, and just we'd set up some targets and did some target shooting. That was fun. And hunting where I hunt, I mean, I deer hunt there. It's not easy. You have to be able to sit for hours and hours and hours with literally nothing happening. I mean, you might see a chipmunk here and there or something like that. I mean, we sat in that blind for hours and never saw a deer, never saw a coyote, never saw a wolf, saw some chipmunks. Didn't even really see any squirrels. It's just, there's not a lot of game in that area. Or it's such a big area, they don't have to concentrate in one area.
No, I think up there is just wide open, and not all. They don't need to come by you. They got plenty of food up there, and I think I wonder if wolves come into play at all, because I know there was wolves on those cameras.
Yeah, that definitely. The wolves, I think, I don't know if the DNR would agree, but I think they definitely play a part in, hunting for me has changed completely since they introduced, not immediately, but after a few years of some difficult winters and, a large population increase of wolves, and when they can do their damage is, in the wintertime when the deer yard up. They're just sitting ducks. They can't really run like the wolves can on the snow. And, and I think they lose a lot of does and fawns because of that.
Yeah. Huh.
So,
well, then back downstate.
Yeah, what was yours hunt like?
Yeah, it was youth weekend.
Yeah.
Really early this year, though. I kind of went on the, we got the Michigan buck poll thing on Facebook or whatever. A lot of velvet bucks still.
Really?
So early,
Wow.
I think so I took Travis and Tim hurt his shoulder and Dave was up bear hunting and Dave ended up coming later on Saturday with Connor. But so it was just Travis and I, so I got to my parents' house on Friday because we used the Ruger 450.
Okay.
I put it right on a bog pod and I'm like, all right, I'll give you 2 shots.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 100 yards. And you got those little silhouettes. I mean, the red's probably about this big. And I mean, put one on each side. So I'm like, oh, you're good to go.
100 yards, nice.
Yeah. So I don't know what it is. I think kids are better shots than we are. But anyway.
Well, their eyes are better. They're not tired like mine.
Right. So we get up at 5 and get on out there. And I think we timed it just about right. Just a little bit before you could see anything. And I mean, we were there half hour. We're both messing with our phones, and that's a bad habit we get into, right? We're like, they're not going to come out yet. All of a sudden I look up and there's a spike just beelining right towards us. And I think he still was velvet. Of course, I forgot my camera.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I realized I got there, I'm like, of course I did. Because this has been a great hunt to film, but I messed that one up. But anyway, and then he gets on the gun and I'm like, don't, because he 4 years ago, he got a 6 point, right? I mean, if it was a spike and just a spike, I'd be like, go for it. But right behind him were 2 does and one of them was good size. And she turned broadside and I bet she's about 60. And I'm like, all right, get that doe. And I just, I plugged my ears a little bit. He pulled that trigger and whack.
Down she went, eh?
Yeah, not another breath.
Nice.
I've been hunting over 30 years and I've done that maybe 2 or 3 times.
Well, where did he hit it? Did he hit it in the heart or?
No, that's fun. That's a funny story for later. I'll tell you about the video, but he was just about shoulder high. But what it did was took out the shoulder, went in the lungs and went in the lung and then hit the spine and just dropped her.
Wow.
Yeah. That's probably a good thing to start thinking about when I'm out hunting, but because wow.
Yeah, that's a wicked shot when you bust through that shoulder and start sending bone everywhere,
Yeah, there was fragments and stuff coming out when we were cleaning it, but yeah, he was so excited because he got the little shake going.
Uh-huh.
And I think because I said go behind the shoulder and he was probably 3 inches up, so pretty good shot, about 60 yards.
Okay.
Then we went out and got it and he was happy.
Did he participate in the gutting at all?
He had gloves on and not really.
No.
he did some holding and put her in the back of the truck.
Well, that's participating.
He's like, oh, I'll try it. And after I already had stabbed myself, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let's just finish this.
Now, did you take it for processing up there, or did you bring it home?
See, that's the weird part up there is that it's in the country. Everybody deer hunts there. I know that this was really early youth weekend. Usually it's at least in the middle of the month, if not towards the end. But the place we usually take it, I walked in, I asked, I'm like, you guys taking deer for youth weekend? And she's like, that's a great question. So no, they didn't.
They didn't.
So there's another spot, like a big farm that does it. And I think they do cows and things like that. So they were open 2 or 3 hours on Saturday and 2 or 3 hours on Sunday. That was your only window.
Oh, wow.
Sunday, I probably would have brought back here to the smokehouse if we had to, but Saturday was really, really hot. So I'm really glad I found somewhere a little bit more to process it, but I know they do a good job. So,
okay. So tell us a little bit about the gun and the bullet that was used.
Yeah, that's the Ruger Ranch Rifle 450 with the muzzle brake. So it doesn't have much of a kick. Probably kicks like a 20 gauge. Okay. Which is nice. And then the only really, thank God I bought it before it kind of got scarce. I used the Hornady Black. Okay. Ammo. which I really like.
What's that, 220 grain or 260?
5 maybe? I'm not sure off the top of my head, but it smacks pretty hard, especially that far away. You can, like, I think I'd feel comfortable because, you know, I'm in the shotgun zone down there in Hastings. So it's like, you know, usually with a shotgun, you're about, I don't feel comfortable over 50, 60 yards, right? Because then it kind of, but this, I think I really do feel comfortable at 200. It only drops a couple inches.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's so nice that we got that option. And then I got a Burris signature scope on there, and it's working great. You know, it's been 3 seasons and I've hadn't had to make any adjustments really since I was stupid and drove around in the UTV with it in the woods and knocked it off a couple feet.
Now, is that a 3 to 9 power, or what is that?
I think it might be 4x12.
4x12. Okay.
I think I have to look at it, but no, if it works fine with that bullet and everything. So, but no, and that was it. Connor and Dave showed up. We're gonna move some blinds around. There's one crazy thing was that he called me and he told me he was coming back or whatever. So kind of move stuff around. So I went to grab our chairs out of the blind, and I got done gutting that thing probably about 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was probably 10:30, 11. I go back there, and I'm telling you, and this is no joke, 30 buzzards on that. Vultures.
Oh, yeah.
And I scared them, and they all take crapping all over the place and flying away. And they had almost had it gone. And we came back to put Dave's stuff in. Everything was gone. There was a little blood spot. All the stomach contents, all the poop. They ate everything. There's the nastiest animals.
Well, you know, that's nature's cleanup.
Yeah, right? I guess they did a hell of a job. Because usually it guts, you know, sit there for a day or two, and then you got coyotes on them, you don't see nothing.
Yeah.
But then that day it got really, really hot. It got in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think we saw deer the rest of the weekend.
How was the wind? Was it windy down there?
Not really.
No,
just got pretty hot. And even the next morning it was 72 to start off. When we went, it was the high 50s. So they did move a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. So they, you know, as you know, this year they put a fence all around the runway and all the field, you know, so we were hoping it'd work kind of in our favor and funnel, and I don't think it's working.
No.
I have to reevaluate this lease.
Oh boy.
Actually, there's deer inside the fence, so I think their plan backfired. So you know, when gun season or whatever gets here, I guess we just have to, you know, clean them out, fill the freezers.
Yeah, what the heck? You don't want to be landing a plane and hit a deer.
No, because that's even the thing, you know, as we're driving through and going to different spots and setting stuff up, once you start, you know, getting close to them, they freak out because they have nowhere to go and they're running into the fence, and it makes it 10 times worse. But who am I? It's working.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So, yeah, no, we had fun. And I think he got one when he was 8. He's now 12, so that's his second one. A lot further along than I was at that age.
I saw you posted a picture. You looked pretty happy.
Yeah, we did a little video. I did a after video after he shot it, and then recovery, which wasn't much of a recovery.
Now this year he had to complete hunter safety, right?
Yes, this year he actually had a combo tag.
Okay, so yeah, in Michigan there's a what is it before yeah,
you get, I can't remember, is it apprentice or mentored or after a few years they pretty much have to take hunter safety. And
that's good.
No, and then, you know, luckily it was online. And I'm like, I'll help you if you need it. And he did the one portion that you can usually do online and went through it, and he still remembers. He talks about it when we're out hunting. He's like, I can go up in a tree stand, you got to do this, that.
Good deal.
So it's actually pretty good. And then the second part that was kind of replaced the field day, he did that quick too and learned all these different things, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, you can't emphasize safety.
No. most important thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to teach them, especially I don't know how some guys are, but especially when I have a kid with me, I don't rack anything in the chamber until I'm ready to go in the blind, right? Mm-hmm. It might make a little sound, but just it makes me feel more safe. Yeah. Especially, some like the safeties on the top of the barrel, right? So it could easily slide when you're walking around and then you putting it down. Something, you know what? I'll take that one tiny little bit of sound. And guess what? We did it. It was fine. Yeah. Nobody knew, rather than walking around with a loaded gun.
Now, did he leave the safety on until it was just before time to shoot?
Yep.
Good.
So he's learned from a young age, and I've taught him from a young age what to, especially for kids that aren't like that, right? That their parents might have a gun, but they're, told, how scary they are, or even, they don't get it, right? So that's when they're curious, they play,
right?
And and I've always been like, if you're ever in that situation, you get out of the house and find an adult immediately.
Yeah.
They all play these stupid video games, and they just assume, you get in your next life. That's just,
it's not Fortnite.
No, it's not. It's not something to mess with. So I think they get it. So that's good.
Yeah. Awesome. It sounds like we both had a pretty good weekend. Yeah, Dave did. That's the reason he did not keep hunting the bear is, and I get it. The youth weekend has been a tradition with you guys.
Yeah.
And it really meant a lot to Connor. Mm-hmm. And even though Dave waited a long time to get this bear tag, he's still, being with his son and going on that youth hunt was more important to him than a bear.
It's hard. It really, I don't know why they did this early.
Yeah. And, and Woods and Waters for this weekend too.
I did 3 things, right?
Yeah.
We missed Woods and Water.
That's a mess. That little poor planning on somebody's part there.
But hey, everything kind of worked out for the most part. Wish Connor would have got a shot, but it's always next year.
Well, there's the rest of this year too. We got I got some property down here that he can hunt with me.
Yeah.
Or his dad. And the early season doe is coming up. I don't know if he's interested, because I know Connor really wants to get a buck.
Yeah.
But we could always use some more meat in the freezer. So
I think what I was so happy about. I'm like, I am almost out.
Yeah.
And they just called me, it'll be done tomorrow. So my parents go grab it for us. And then the next time we go home, we'll go pick it up. And
yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
All I want to have my own like my deer tacos. Like, okay.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So I think I just back straps and everything else. I just got ground.
So is she pretty young, you think?
I don't know. Her nose is very sloped and long. So I guess at least a couple, but she really didn't have much milk. So I don't know if because I'm soft. I can't do that. Like a doe with fawns, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's from watching Bambi or what. I can't. I just can't do it. But she was all by herself with another, probably a couple-year-old doe with her, and then that spike. So she's a good size.
Yeah.
I would assume we get 40, 50 pounds of meat.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Good stuff.
All right. Yeah. Let's
we'll wrap this one up, and thanks for joining us on the Gun Hunter Planet podcast. Catch you next time.